Welcome, it's Denome, and welcome to this crypto update. As you can see, the Bitcoin price went below this trend line last week, and from there, I thought we might actually see this flush out to this trend line here. But instead, towards the weekend, price actually started to move violently to the upside by Sunday. And that means that retail investors have bought this move here. And the old saying goes that if you see a pump on Sunday, then there's a dump on Monday. Now, I'm not gonna be bold enough to claim that there will be a definite dump on Monday, but all I'm saying is that if there is not a dump on Monday, then it's actually likely that we will go to 114k to test this trend line once again. From that trend line, we might actually head lower. But Monday, Tuesday, we could see like a fake out here and then a move to the upside. Or if we see this trend line broken once again, then it's likely we just go straight down fast. But all in all, I'm calling that 100k is probably the lowest price that we will see Bitcoin, because it's a major area here. And let me just show you why it's likely. So there's a fractal in the chart here that when we scroll backwards in time, you can see this trend line is basically the same exact thing we saw here. And as you can see, this touch is basically the same as this one here. Then we saw a move back to the trend line high here. So that would have been this move here. And then we saw a flush out to basically this low below this trend line here. From there, the price of Bitcoin hovered below the trend line here for a while. We went basically above it, and then we had another move to the downside, and then we finally had the big breakout in Bitcoin. And by the way, just looking at the price action here, you can see the violent move to the upside basically started in October. So that's why October is sometimes called Uptober, because price likes to go up during October. So overall, we could see that flush out, but if we do see it, then I do expect a violent move to the upside eventually. So another parallel why this is basically same exact price action is we can draw the same trend line here as well as we had here. So if we go back to that trend line, that would basically complete the fractal, and from there we can finally break out as well. So just an interesting observation that history is repeating, but it doesn't necessarily always repeat completely. So sometimes it just teases with a completion, and then it actually breaks out of that structure. But all in all, I'm bullish for the quarter four of this year. I think altcoins will be doing well. We're seeing a lot of signs basically pointing to that direction. But now let me talk about this pump here and why I believe it was done by retail investors. And for that, first thing is obviously Eric Trump, because he made this post buy the dips on September 26th, and this had 50,000 likes. And as you can see, people are saying like, okay, buy the dips, okay, buy the dips, okay, buy the dips. So last time Eric Trump said buy the dips, Ethereum price basically had its low price level on that day, and then price basically shot up $1,000. So last time he called it correctly, but infamously at the start of this year, he also basically said that it's a good time to buy Ethereum, and then Ethereum went from $3,000 to $1,500. So he's not right every single time, but this time he might actually be right, and he might have insider information. And that's what Peter Schiff is actually hinting towards as well. So he says Eric Trump predicted that the Fed will soon return to quantitative easing. If Eric believes this, chances are his father does too. So quantitative easing just means money printing. So if Eric really believes that there will be more money printing, then that probably means that assets will pump to the upside. So he could have insider information here, and that he is earnest in this message. Obviously, the other take is that he is grifting here, and he is basically rug pulling and trying to suck in more retail liquidity to the market. and eventually rug pull us as well. So that's another take that you could analyze this as. But this is the reason why we saw the pump on Sunday. Then another reason why it's likely retail investors is when we go to Google Trends, we search the term Bitcoin and crypto. You can see towards Sunday, the interest in Bitcoin and crypto just shot upwards, basically almost doubled towards Sunday evening. Now, when we go to the 5-year view, the interest in retail investors right now for Bitcoin and crypto is absolute lows. So what we have seen is basically retail capitulation, while institutions have been buying more and more and more. So if institutions continue to buy and retail investors are already out, but if retail investors come back, that probably means that we should see some pumps in crypto and Bitcoin as well. So the setup is there for us to have a beautiful Q4 this year, but that remains to be seen if that actually happens. But basically, I'm betting that we will see a bullish Q4 as of now. So anyway, that's the fact that retail investors were there. I guess one more fact is that it was a Sunday, so typically institutional investors are not online on Sunday. So anyway, retail investors bought that pump. Now looking at other news, uh, we did see this post coming from the mayor of New York saying that she is announcing inflation refund checks. So now we're basically going back to 2020 when they had the helicopter money being sent all across United States and these checks that people basically use to gamble into crypto. So if we see this trend continue, then this could be a major thing. But as of now, it's just one state of New York who is doing this, which is not a lot of people. But if other states start doing something like this, then that could be good for meme coins and altcoins as well. But obviously, I don't support this kind of grifting. It's just a political move for her to score more political points. But it's just another form of debasing United States dollar and basically pushing Bitcoin and gold up as well. So there's that. Then we saw Bitmain buying another 252,000 Ethereum over the last 3 days. So when we go to strategic ETH reserve.xyz, Bitmain has aggressively buying Ethereum every single week. So September 6th, they bought 200,000 Ethereum. September 13th, they bought 82,000 Ethereum. Last week, they bought 264K Ethereum, and now they bought 250K again. So institutions keep acquiring more and more Ethereum. And then when we take a look at Bitcoin, there are no new Bitcoin treasury companies in this website since my last update, but there's suddenly 20,000 more Bitcoin in holding these. These entities now hold 20,000 more Bitcoin since my last update. So that's a good thing, and especially if you compare that ETFs last week were actually selling, that means that private companies, public companies were acquiring more than was the sell pressure from ETF sell pressure. So overall, this is a good trend and still signals that these treasury companies still have access to more lines of funding. So we might see a sustained move in crypto markets to the upside as well. So fundamentally speaking, very, very good. And then talking about LDO, they have an update here. So they have now announced an LDO buyback and treasury program, and this will go live in December 2025. So they will use their product liquid staked Ethereum. They will take the fees from it, convert the fees into LDO by basically buying LDO on the spot markets, and then they will deposit that LDO into their treasury, effectively taking some of the LDO out of circulating supply, which makes LDO deflationary, and also it makes LDO have a consistent buyer for the token on a weekly basis as well. So LDO seems to be in a very good position for Q4 of this year as well. And if we see staked Ethereum ETFs going live, or they are announced to go live this year, then if LDO is part of that staked Ethereum ecosystem, like I believe it will be, then LDO might actually have a very, very, very big pumps this year as well. So I'm a big LDO bull, and hopefully I'm right, and they are part of the staked Ethereum ecosystem. There's a lot of evidence that they will be, but it's not a guarantee, and we don't have definite information that they will be. So it's a little bit of a gamble, but I hope it pays out. So good news from LDO as well. Then looking at fundamentals on sentiment.net, we saw $3 billion worth of stablecoins minted last week. So now we have $251 billion of stablecoins in total, and that is an increase of 3 billion since last week, Monday. So the amount of stablecoin mints continue to grow. Fundamentally, that is good because a stablecoin means real world asset on chain. So as more capital flows through on chain transactions, that makes the whole crypto just better and more valuable and more attractive as an investment vehicle as well. So that is very, very good. The other metrics here are not that important. I didn't see anything too critical here. Just basically more accumulation with these institutional investors. And as you can see, even as Bitcoin price has continued to go lower, institutional investors keep acquiring more Ethereum. More Bitcoin. So institutions continue to acquire. Whales have been dumping. Retail is basically out of the picture. Now, if some of the whales start coming back, or retail investors start coming back, then we could really have a beautiful Q4 this year. Now, going to short-term fundamentals, looking at Bitcoin liquidation heat map, you can see we have this liquidation zone here at $107,000. So I would really like to get this tagged so we can get it out of our minds. But we have another liquidation zone here going basically to 120K. So those are the main levels. And looking at the same information just in a different way, you can see clearly that basically starting at 109K to 107K, this area just has a massive amount of long liquidations. So it's a juicy area to get these longs liquidated. But right above us in the immediate proximity, we also have liquidations stretching from 112K to almost 114K. So if we go to 114K or so, take out these liquidations, that would be a wouldn't surprise me at all. The order books on the spot markets and futures markets, I'm not seeing a lot of sell pressure currently forming in the order books for now. And that is a good thing that we might actually see a continuation move instead of a Monday dump. But both can actually be true. I will show that in the technical analysis soon. But I'm not seeing a lot of sell pressure as of now. On the futures market, we're basically seeing buy activity and sell activity. So the order books is rapidly changing as of now. So I'm not really sure what to make of that. But at least I can say is that even as Bitcoin price went to the upside here to 112K, a lot of people started to bet for a price continuation in the futures market on the order books. So that tells me that we could actually see a continuation move rather than a downward move. So taking all of this in, what I kind of expect the price to do this week is that we have an attempt to go to the downside here on Monday, Tuesday. But later towards the week, we would go to basically tag that 114K, take out those short positions here. We might even have a fake out right as we have that liquidation zone there. But then I would like to see a move to 100K here. That's basically my dream scenario, is that we get that 100K tagged. Why do I want to get 100K? Well, a lot of liquidations are there. This is a major area of interest because of this trend line here. And also there's a parallel to what has happened before here. So just want to get that done. So if that would happen, that would obviously be perfect. If it doesn't happen, that's okay too. So I will make a second video later this week, and hopefully by the next video, Bitcoin will have done something like this, and then I will make the second video from there. But anyway, that's basically the crypto update I had for you guys. There's more pieces of content I wanted to add in this video, but they are highly political. So I have made a second channel called Up Down Politics. So if you want to hear my political takes, then you can follow me there. And the politics I will share in the video on that channel is basically Switzerland's digital ID vote has now passed, and I will talk about Donald Trump's war on terrorism in the United States and how Donald Trump's TikTok deal has basically went from Chinese influence to now Israeli influence, and how they are now cracking down on free speech in the United States, and how eventually they will also offer a digital ID in the United States as well, just like they are now doing in Switzerland and UK. But that's in that separate channel, so follow me there if you want to hear more about that. Anyway, that's it for this video. Hope you guys got value out of this one. I will see you guys on the next one, and bye bye.